Before wasting your time, this is the end result. We will have one simple object that is responsible for integrating our game with a Twitch. The object allows us to connect to the Twitch API. You must have a valid Twitch account to be able to connect. After connecting the account to Twitch, you can join any channel you want to read from or write messages to. You can connect to more than one channel if you want. Before starting the tutorial, let me say that the implementation I'm going to show you is based on the amazing guide by Bradley Sanders. Hope I'm saying your name correct. The implementation is the same one I used in my fully released game on Steam called The Chatter's Show. If you have any improvement or optimization, please mention it in the comment section. Now, on to the tutorial. Before jumping to the coding part, it is better to understand how the connection to Twitch API, which is known as Internet Relay Chat or IRC, works. An illustration is best here. We have our revolutionary game here and we have a Twitch. A Twitch contains the channel we are interested to read from or write to. Twitch uses an API called IRC. You do not need to know in depth about this API, only know that this is what handles the reading and writing part we are interested in. Now our job is to create an object in Unity to handle connecting to this IRC and utilize its features, nothing less, nothing more. And this is what we will do in this tutorial. I will also mention crucial and practical points I learned from releasing my Twitch integrated game. Reminder that you need a valid Twitch account to be able to connect to the IRC API. It can be any account you or the player have. The implementation assumes that the player will connect to Twitch using their own accounts. Now, let us start. I have a scene with some UI elements, but we will write the script from scratch. As mentioned, you need a Twitch account, so we need some variable for the user and password. Note that the password here is not the normal account password. It is a special token you generate from our website. More on that later. We need the following three variables: a TCP client object which allows us to connect to the internet server, a stream reader object, and a stream writer object, which we will feed into the TCP client to allow us to read from Twitch and write to it. You must have the system.io and system.net.socket namespace added. The first thing we do is connect to the IRC to be able to use it. So let us write a method to do that. We will make it public so we can call it anywhere we want from the game. Now the irc.chat.twitch.tv and the 667 is based on a Twitch manual, so no need to discuss anything here. But you might be going, what the hell is async and await? Believe me, I thought the same when I saw Bradley's guide for the first time, but it is a very simple concept. These keywords allow an application, our game in this case, to keep executing or running without the need to wait for the method or process to conclude. This is very crucial as sometimes the connecting, reading or writing to Twitch can take a couple of seconds before resolving. And if we are not using the async and await keywords, the entire game will freeze until the required task is concluded. If you still cannot wrap your head around it, it works, so just copy what is written here. Continuing our connection to the IRC, now we have to feed the IRC our account and password / token. First we define the stream writer that is used to write to the IRC. At the same time, let us define the stream reader which will be used later. To write to the IRC, we do the await thing again and use the write line async method of the stream writer. The IRC command which comes from the Twitch manual is pass followed by space followed by the token / password. After sending that command to the IRC, we need to follow up with the account name. Now for a practical knowledge point, you will see that I mistakenly put the token rather than the account name. In reality, it does not matter what the account name you put. You just need to have some text written for the account name or you will get an error. The token itself is what indicates what account is connecting. I will show you how to get the token in a moment. Using this method, now we can connect to the Twitch via the IRC API. But before doing that, let us write the method that will read the messages we receive from Twitch IRC. I am doing this now to show you what Twitch sends back after we successfully connect. Again, we make the method async, and when we read the line, we use the await keyword. I am defining a variable last line to represent the last line we receive from Twitch. Note that this is not the best way to read a Twitch message. Later I will show you the best approach. You might be thinking to yourself, this while loop will infinitely loop and freeze the game, and this is where you are wrong. Remember, the async and await purpose is to allow us to run the game without waiting for a task to finish. Also, once the stream reader finishes reading the latest line from Twitch, it will stop the loop at that point and wait until a new line from Twitch is sent. So the debug.log will not keep on writing the last line. Last thing is to remember to call this method after we connect to Twitch. And by doing this, we will continuously read all messages that Twitch sends us over the period of our game. Before showcasing that this works, I am going to convert this class into a scriptable object rather than a mono behavior. If you do not know what a scriptable object is, I highly recommend you learn about it as it is a very useful tool. In summary, it is an object that exists in all scenes and is easily accessible by other scripts, which is why I'm making the Twitch Connect object a scriptable object. In your implementation, it is up to you how to handle the Twitch Connect object. For example, you can make it a public static class if you like. Now that I created the Twitch Connect object, I need to get the password/token for my account to be able to connect. You get your account token from this website. This website is from Twitch Manual. In your game, you can make a button that leads to this website so the player can easily reach it and get their token. Remember, I told you the account name does not matter. It is the token itself that determines the account that will connect to the IRC. This means you must ensure that no one sees this token, as people can access the account if they have the token. It is very important that you highlight this to the player inside your game. Copy the entire text string including the OAUTH part. Now we are ready to connect. Since I made my Twitch Connect a scriptable object, I need another script to call the methods inside my Twitch Connect object. This script is trivial. We just reference the Twitch Connect object and create a method that calls the Twitch Connect object methods. One practical point, if you plan to make a game that utilizes Twitch chat, you most likely need to allow the application to run in the background. Now we just drag the Twitch Connect object to the script we just wrote and assign the method to a button. If you connect to the Twitch IRC successfully, these are the messages you should receive from Twitch. We are able to see these because of the read messages method we just defined. We are halfway done now. Since we are connected to Twitch, we can join a channel and read any new posted message. To do that, let us write a simple method that takes the channel name we want to join. The Twitch IRC command is join followed by a space followed by a hash followed by the channel name. The channel name is not case sensitive. At the same time, let us write the method to leave a channel in case we do not want to read the messages anymore. We go back to the other script to call these methods we just defined. We use a simple input box to get the name of the channel we want to join. When you join a channel successfully, these are the messages that Twitch sends back. Once you join a channel, anytime a user sends a message, Twitch IRC will send the message to the stream reader we defined, and we will be able to read the message using the read messages method we defined, which is running continuously in the background. This is the format of a chat message that Twitch sends to us. It has three main things that interest us: the channel name it came from, the user who sent the message, and the message itself. Another crucial part is that the message contains the following priv msg, which we can use as a way to check if the message from Twitch is a channel's chat message or something else. As mentioned earlier, we can connect to multiple channels at once and read from both at once. Now, let us write the method that allows us to send a message to a channel. This method takes two arguments, the channel name we want to send to and the message we want to send. The Twitch IRC command to write a message to a channel looks like this. You can write this string in C# using multiple ways. Up to you what to choose from. Now we simply add a method to the other script that reads the message we want to send from an input box and calls the write to channel method we just defined. Now we officially have a functional Twitch chat reader and writer handler in our project. One crucial point we need to take care of is that Twitch periodically sends us a ping to check if we are still connected. We have to reply with a certain text or we will be disconnected. The text we have to send back is the same message that we received from Twitch, but we have to replace the ping with pong. Simply add these lines of code in the read messages method. This next part is kind of trivial. It is about splitting the raw message from Twitch into useful information. It is up to you how you implement this exactly. For me, I write a method inside the Twitch Connect object rather than outside. And in my case, I feeded the raw chat message we received from Twitch and return a string array of size of 3. The first element is the channel name it came from. The second is the user who sent the message, and the third is the message itself. I will let you figure out the string manipulation on your own. We go back to the other script and utilize the method we just created. The message format method takes the raw message from Twitch, then calls the method we just defined and return the information as a single string. Again, it's up to you how you want to split your string information in your game. Now comes a very crucial technical part that you need to be aware of if you want your game to handle high density Twitch messages. Remember when I said that the last line is not the best approach to Twitch messages? The reason for that is that the last line can get updated multiple times in a single frame, or in other words, it has a different execution cycle than the Unity update cycle which runs our game. Imagine this scenario: a Twitch sends you 5 messages at once, which is common if you connect to multiple channels or connect to one big channel such as Ludwig. You have your game logic, which is under the update method, and it requests the last line from the Twitch Connect object. At the first frame or update cycle, your game logic will get the first line as intended. But while your game logic is working on the first frame, the last line from the Twitch Connect object would already have gone through all the remaining messages and stopped at message 5. So when your game logic starts the second frame, it will request the last line again and will receive message number 5, skipping messages 2 to 4. That is why the last line approach is not the best. Luckily, tackling this issue is straightforward. Rather than having a last line, we should have a log of all the messages sent by Twitch, and an index which increments every time the game logic requests a new line. This way the game logic can request the next message in the logs rather than the last message. This way we ensure that we will not skip any messages sent by Twitch. Now let us implement this in code. We do not need the last line variable anymore, but I'm going to keep it to allow for easier understanding. For the logs, a list is perfect here, and we define an int that will act as the index. I clear any previous logs before entering the loop and set the index at 1. In my implementation, the log index represents the log entry we need to read next. That is why I start at 1 rather than 0. We just have to add a single line of code which adds any new message to the logs. Now we need to write the method that allows the game logic or external objects to request the next Twitch message. The exact implementation can differ here. What I go for is a method that returns a true or false depending on if there is a new message to read or not, because there are times when there is no new messages to read. If there is a new message, I want to return the message itself. This can be done elegantly using a method with an out modifier. If you are not aware of these methods, just think of it as a method that can return two variables. Technically, it returns one variable and modifies the other one that you feed it. The first if statement is to check if there are any new messages by comparing the index and the size of the log. If there are any new messages, we do a for loop starting from the index. We only care about messages that contains the priv msg. If we find such message, we set the new index, return the message, and return true. If no message with the priv msg was found, we set the index to be bigger than the size of the log and return false. And now we are done. We just have to modify our game logic, which is the update method in this case, with the new approach. Remember, the method we just wrote returns true if there is a new message, and at the same time it will return the message and the variable new message. Now to showcase that all of this works. The last thing we need to do is have a way to clear the logs and start a fresh log. This is not absolutely required, but it is recommended to have to be able to reduce memory usage. You might be thinking to yourself, easy, just write logs.clear. That is half the answer. It is important to have the clear method at the correct location. Remember, the logic/method that reads Twitch messages and adds them to the log is executing independently from anything else. If you happen to clear the logs while it is being updated, it can cause errors. To tackle this, we should clear the logs inside the method that reads the messages from Twitch. To implement this, we simply define a flag, which is a Boolean variable, and we write a simple method so we can make this flag true from outside. If the flag is true, we clear the logs, reset the index, and reset the flag to false. Notice that at the end I am adding the last line to the logs we just cleared. This is so we do not skip the first message from Twitch after the clear flag has been raised. Remember, if there are no new messages, the execution will stop at the stream reader until a new line is read. Hence, after setting the flag to true, a new message is needed to be sent from Twitch before the logs can be cleared. Now let us see this in action. And we are done. You have a fully fledged Twitch chat reader and writer that you can use in any Unity project you want. Before ending, I want to share two practical points for your consideration. If your game is designed to connect to multiple channels, you are probably going to store the channel name somewhere and compare with the channel name you received from Twitch raw messages. Know that the Twitch messages have the channel name in lowercase, so keep that in mind when comparing strings. This happened in my game. The player would enter the channel name with capitalized first letter and connect to the channel. Then my game logic would store the capitalized version of the channel name. When Twitch sends a message from the channel, it would be in lowercase, and when I was comparing string to string, it caused errors. The second point to consider is that there are limits to how frequent you can write messages or commands to Twitch. You can refer to the Twitch documentation, but here's a snip of the limits. If you exceed these limits, you will be locked out. Hope you benefited from this video. If so, like and subscribe.